one named KZS, the Chiamaka, and Markwe Victoria Oluchi, all from St. John of God Secondary School and Redeemers International High School. Welcome once again to the program.
Thank you.
Now, as I said before we went on that break, we're talking about overprotective parenting, how it affects the children. Now, let me ask you, Ikechukwu Ujunna Gold, have you ever experienced overprotectiveness from your parents? Either your mom or your dad?
Well, yes, actually. I've experienced overprotective parenting once in a while. Like when I was younger, my parents had to protect me, make decisions for me. They always make decisions for me, and then when I entered secondary school, it started disturbing me a lot. I couldn't make certain decisions for myself, and for like the whole of my JS1, I was very quiet as well. I didn't interact well with my friends and my peer groups. Then later I discussed with them, and they realized that what they're doing is causing more harm than good, and they let me go out into the world, and now I'm okay. I'm here this morning.
All right. One day, Casey asked the Chiamaka, have you ever experienced overprotectiveness from your parents?
Yes, I have experienced it, and I'm still experiencing it because my parents don't really allow me to interact with my peers. They kind of cage me at home. The only place I go is school, church, and back at home. They don't allow me to go anywhere, and I'm not allowed to leave home without any proper explanation. So I still experience it as of right now.
Victoria.
Well, actually, that was much more when I was younger. I did experience overprotectiveness from my parents, but as of now, I don't experience it that much because my parents do allow me to take decisions for myself. That was only when I was still little that they take decisions for me because I was still much younger and I didn't know much of the things I was meant to do.
Okay, but from whatever it is you people are saying, don't you think that your parents' overprotectiveness have kept you out of danger? Ujunna?
Well, yes, actually. My parents' overprotectiveness has kept me out of danger. But those are only short-term benefits. Because, see, on the long-term path, it will cause more harm than good. Like I said before, I couldn't interact well with my peers. I was very quiet, and it wasn't good for my mental development. It's still that sometimes when I have to interact with people, I feel shy, I couldn't take some decisions for myself. So I think though on short-term basis or at present, it has good effects, on the long term it's very negative, and I'm not in support of overprotectiveness.
Esther?
I don't agree with what she said because my parents, I'm a case study. My parents overprotect me. They don't follow me to school. So they aren't the ones who tell me who I interact with and who I don't. I interact with my friends freely, even though I'm overprotected by my parents. I interact with my peers freely, and it does not decrease my mental health, neither does it stop me from speaking my mind. They overprotect me, yes, but they don't restrict me from interacting with my peers. I can and I do interact with my friends freely, and I don't feel shy whatsoever.
Victoria?
Well, actually, I don't actually agree with what both of them said. Because actually, yes, my parents, my dad in particular, was very overprotective because it's not everything he will actually allow me to do. He's always on the basis of keeping me at the safer side. But actually, for not the overprotectiveness, it gave me a mentality of what is right and what is wrong. The right thing to do at the wrong time, at the right time, and the wrong thing that I'm not meant to do at both times. I'm meant to do only what is right. And that builds a stability in my mind that wheresoever I go, whosoever I meet, I know the right person to meet and the right peer group I'm meant to be with.
Okay. You think, Victoria, this question is for you. Do you think your parents being overprotective, their actions, it kept you out of danger sometimes, or you can still go, because since you still go to school as you say, that if you want to go into danger, you can go into danger, that it's not your parents that is protecting you?
No, that's not what I mean.
Okay.
What I mean is this. I told you they were overprotective when I was much younger. But while growing up, they gave me rooms to take decisions. they gave rooms for me to make mistakes and learn my mistakes and take amends of it, and also to take precautions for it not to repeat itself again. You get? So that helped me to know that when things are right, I'm meant to maintain that part. And also, that doesn't mean that overprotectiveness is good. It's not actually good. That was why they stopped it at some point. They did it when it was necessary, not when it's not necessary.
Okay. Ujuna, do you feel the rules your parents set were helpful to you now that you're in secondary school?
Yes, actually. Because then they were with me, they helped me take decisions. And eventually I learned how to take decisions. I learned how to take the right decisions and the wrong decisions. And they're like a role model to me. You know, I try to put their advice into my actions. And though they're not going to get me now, they've already set the foundation for me. So yes, once they play, they're very beneficial to me.
Esther, do you feel the rules were overwhelming to you while growing up, or they were helpful?
They were both overwhelming and helping, because sometimes the rules they set for me aren't what I want to do.
Example of the rules.
They tell me that I shouldn't go to my friend's house. That when I go to my friend's house, I kind of inconvenience the family. But I try to explain to them that I've already told her that I'm coming and that it's not an inconvenience. We go there to study. But my parents will tell me that we leave those studies that we are sent there to do and start talking about some other things apart from the study. I didn't really agree with them on that, so we kind of started this battle, fought and back, and it kind of reduced my interactions with them. I couldn't speak. I couldn't tell them some of the things that bothered me because I felt that their rules were overwhelming. They didn't want to listen to my own opinion or decisions. They wanted their decisions that I should listen to them and not that I should get advice from them, that anything they say stands. So it was overwhelming. But on the other case of telling me the right things to do and the wrong things to do, it's helping me now in secondary school because I know peers to follow, who to follow and who not to follow because of the advices they gave me. I know the characters that I should mingle with and people that I shouldn't.
Victoria.
Well, actually, I will say that my parents' overprotectiveness in me when I was much younger is not, they don't actually force me to do what I don't want. They give room to my own opinions. But if my opinion is wrong, they will actually, and very much, they will give me a correction and tell me these are the disadvantages in this thing you want to do. And as a child much growing up, well, I must say I'm very inquisitive. So if you tell me things and I don't agree with you, I always want to practicalize. So my parents noticed that in me, even my mom, they just noticed it. So they decided, that was when they had to give room for me to make mistakes. And once I make that mistake, instead of, overbeating a child doesn't stop the child from making mistakes. So they just take me in, they will sit me down, they will talk to me, and they will start pointing it one after the other and tell me, you see, due to this you just did, this was the result. And then that was when I was not getting that their overprotectiveness then was good to me because I was not able to take some decisions on my own because I was still much younger, I didn't know much. But as I'm in secondary school now, that they did back then is now helping me. And I'm free to interact with my parents. I tell them anything I want to tell them. They know my in and my out, they know everything about me because I interact with them much. Even though they correct me, that's one thing I love about my parents. They will still call you back and still explain to you. Even though you misbehave, yes, they will caution you. If it deserves beating, they will surely spank you and they will still call you back and tell you, this is the reason you did this, and you take precaution and not try it again.
Alright, we'll go for a short musical break. When we come back, we'll talk about overprotectiveness storms, emotional and social growth. Program. We're still talking about this topic, how overprotective parenting affects independence and confidence. And I'm still here in the studio with Ikechukwu Ujunago, Nwaneke Z, Esther Chiamaka, and Makwe Victoria. And they are lending their voices to this topic, and I think they are doing justice to it. Remember, before we went on that short break, I said we're going to talk about overprotectiveness storms, emotional and social growth. Now, Esther, let me come to you. Has there been moments where you felt restricted by your parents' rules?
No, there hasn't been any moments when I felt restricted by their rules because their rules have helped to guide me in the social aspect. They have guided me in such a way that I know the right way to follow and the right way not to follow. I know who to interact with and who not to. I know what to do at a particular time and not what to do. You see, when living with them, you feel like their rules are overbearing, but at a certain time you tend to go to live with your aunt's house. Then you now see that those rules they are giving you are actually helping to build you. They are actually helping to guide you for the future. They aren't restricting you, they are helping you and guiding you. So there hasn't been any moments where their rules has restricted me emotionally.
Victoria.
No, likewise, I also say no, their rules has never restricted me. Instead, it made me better. Actually, while growing up, when I entered into secondary school in my GS1, I normally wake up very, very late, and in my house, my dad observed it that due to he's always pampering me, he observed that I took it as a habit, I wake up late. So my dad observed it in my siblings and he made a rule. If you're in the house and it's 7 o'clock, next, you won't go to school that day. And I thought it was a joke and I did it once, and that day I had an exam and I didn't go to school. I cried and cried and cried and he told me to go inside. And I went inside, he gave me food I should eat and he told me to go and eat, and I slept. And I woke up, he told me I'm not going anywhere. I cried, and then I learned my lesson. Now, I go to school before 6:30, I'm going to school. And that helps me today. I'm going to school very early, and also it also helped me in other aspect of life. Once I have a goal that I want to achieve that day, it makes me, once the time is there, I can't do any other thing. Even though I'm very tired the previous night, I must wake up very early. That's just one aspect that their protectiveness has helped me a lot.
Ujuna.
Well, actually, yes, I feel like the overprotectiveness has restricted me emotionally in many ways. Because when I entered secondary school initially, after they decided to release their hold on me, I felt like I couldn't interact well with my peers. Like whenever someone is there talking to me, I feel like hiding. I don't want to talk to. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I like staying on my own. Like you hardly even hear my voice. When teachers asked once, a teacher asked a question that I knew, like. No one in my class answered the question, and I knew that answer. But I started thinking, is this right? Is it wrong? What if I forgot to happen? And then I didn't answer the question. The teacher got angry and flogged everybody in the class, and then she answered the question. And I felt that was actually right. I mean, if it weren't for the fact that my parents overprotected me, I would have had the confidence in myself that whether or not I was taught, I would have answered that question, I would have taken the risk in answering that question.
Well, I don't think overprotectiveness does that to a child. It depends on the child's mentality. That was your mentality. And
No,
that
my
was the
parents.
Your
They
parents
protected me from the
Your
very beginning.
parents
They didn't even let me take my own
restricting you from
So
making
in that
access
case, I couldn't take my
to
own
friends or
decision
peers.
at that time.
It was your mentality that made you not
It
to
was
be able
not my
to answer
mentality.
the
I
question.
didn't even
Your
go
parents
out
didn't
at that
restrict you
time.
from
I was
asking
at
questions.
home and
They
my
told
friends-
you, they protected you and guided you and told you what was right at that point in time and what was wrong.
No,
They
that's
weren't
Actually, I disagree because you can't say that.
Not
If she was emotionally down, you can't calm down, you can't just judge that way. Yes, I accept the aspect of her mentality, but there's something called being depressed. She was not herself, she was overprotected, she was even hidden inside her shells. And now that shouldn't, you shouldn't capitalize it based on yourself. You are judging based on your own capability.
Overprotectiveness doesn't cause depression.
Please calm down. It
Okay,
does. I know of someone who's parents is overprotective and
whether or not your parents will agree with what
It
you're saying.
guides-
And in that case, you won't take your
Overprotectiveness
own
doesn't
decision.
cause
overprotectiveness causes that
It
because
doesn't
one
cause
it makes
depression,
the child to
it
use
guides
Okay. I think we should allow Ujuna to finish her story. Then we will now see if overprotectiveness causes depression or not. Ujuna, please continue.
So in that case, I took my own decision like from that very moment. One day when such a thing repeated itself, I took the risk to answer that question and I was right. So had it been that my parents had continued the overprotectiveness at that moment, when the next time such a thing happened, I would have done the same thing. I would have kept quiet, thinking about whether or not it was right. For example, my parents letting me take that risk at that moment helped me. I learned from my mistake, and then the next time I decided whether or not I was right or wrong, I would answer that question, and that has helped me in many ways now.
Okay. Now when you were arguing, you brought up this portion. Now let's talk about it. Does overprotectiveness cause depression?
Yes, it actually does.
To me, it doesn't. It doesn't cause depression. How can parents overprotecting the child cause depression?
Please, I disagree.
It doesn't cause
It causes depression.
How does this cause?
Yes.
Now, Esther wants to know.
How does it?
I think Victoria, tell us how it causes depression.
Okay, now overprotectiveness, I say it causes depression because one, if a parent, like overprotective parents, you observe that they take decisions for their children. They, like, let me say for instance, if someone comes to their child now and beats that child, they won't let that child stand out for himself to face that person. Why did you beat him? They will just intervene and beat the person and take their child inside. Their child is restricted, their child is indoors. Even though their child wants to speak up, they can't speak up because they are hidden inside. They will just keep things to themselves. Even though they want to speak out, they will be like, my parents will just tell me, leave it. They will come and handle it. They won't let me speak out. They are hidden, like they just feel that being alone is the best thing. They'll just be inside, they'll just keep things to themselves. Even though you watch them, they won't want to tell you because they won't know how to tell you. They just feel keeping quiet is the best because that is what their parents have put in them by being protective. Overprotectiveness is very wrong because it damages the child's capability to have strong emotional feelings to speak out because that child will not have courage or confidence in him or herself. So it can lead to depression.
It's like I said before, it is based on the child's mentality.
Please, I disagree. I think you should not do this thing based on your own capability.
You have to let me finish. I let you finish, so you have to let me finish. It is based on the child's mentality. You made an example that someone beats the child. What if the child was the person who called her parents? What if the child wasn't able to defend herself at that point in time and the parents came and intervened? You have to give these facts first before doing your own observations and calling it right. What if the child wasn't able to defend herself at that point in time?
Then
Of
the
course, the
parents
parents
should have
will,
taught the child
as they as parents, will of course defend their child because they are the parents of the child. You don't expect the parents to fold their arms and watch their child being beaten and you tell them, oh no, it's overprotectiveness. Allow your child to defend himself.
I disagree because will I say that's being ironic?
It's
Because,
not.
calm down. You just said something, how will the parents be there and they are beating their child? I don't understand. Like, are you trying to say now that if you're wrong and someone beats you up, your parents should just come and beat them?
There is a kind of.
Calm down, we were talking and I was calm, so like chill. You get? You said that the parents cannot be there, that is why they are their parents. Now, if your parents didn't let you to be corrected, so you know one person does not train a child. That's one thing I want you to confirm today. Now, if your parents were not allowing you to be corrected at the times you were wrong, don't you think you should have made like very worse mistakes than the one you made that can harm you? Now, I will stand to tell you that what you just said is very wrong because one, you just said that they should come and defend their child. Like, it's wrong because from all I've learned from where my parents are, they taught me that if they correct you means the person loves you. Now, as they corrected you means they want the best for you, and you can't tell me that because they are your parents, when let me say you look for trouble, they should just come and beat the person up because they are your parents. It doesn't make any sense. And you should not judge based on that. You should judge based on what you see. Like, from everything you're saying now, I just understand one thing because as it stands now, you are arguing with that fact. Calm down. You just said it depends on the child mentality. You are judging based on your capability. You don't judge others based on your capability. There are people who are naturally they don't talk. Naturally, they are just hidden. Naturally, most of them are caused by their parents. Most of them they are outspoken. There are people who they don't talk, but instead their actions speak for them. There are people who are like that. So you can't just judge based on your own.
That is why I said it is based on the child's mentality. Understand what I said. It is based on the child's mentality. I don't.
So the child's mentality should be that whatever happens, her parents will always be there to defend her. The parent should teach the child how to defend herself. I mean, And in the case when the child is wrong, that child should accept that correction.
There is a
And if that child is right, then that child should learn to defend herself.
There
Should
is a
develop
time
problem solving
of
skills.
correction.
And not develop a mentality that when someone hurts me, my parents will be there to help me. And if I'm wrong, it's my parents that will correct me. That child should be able to face her future problems by herself and not always depend on her parents.
All right. From what I understood from the argument, it's yes, a parent should be overprotective, but should allow a child a certain amount of freedom.
Yes.
Be overprotective, but be willing to balance.
Yes.
Is it not? Now it brings me to this question. Do you think your parents' level of protectiveness is balanced, or would you prefer more freedom? Ujuna.
Well, I think right now the level of protection is balanced. I don't want any more freedom because at this moment like at this age and stage in time, the level of protection and freedom that called me is okay for me. I can interact with my peers. Although I'm still slightly nervous, at this moment I'm a lot better than I was back then. I know that as time goes on, I'll be even much better. And who knows, maybe you might even see me here next week.
Yes, so we anticipate. Esther.
No, I don't want any more freedom. I'm okay with the freedom they have given me at this moment in time.
Victoria.
Well, actually, I don't need more freedom because actually their protectiveness has been balanced right from time. They have done very, very well.
So now to my next question, what are the benefits of having some level of protection while still learning independence? What are the benefits? You know, we're saying overprotectiveness, and you seem to be citing, talking about how it has depressed you and everything. I'm talking to you, Junior. Now, what are the benefits? What are benefits are you seeing now that the overprotectiveness has given you?
The overprotectiveness helped me to take decisions. As I said before, the overprotectiveness was the foundation. They served as a role model because I was always there, because they were always there with me. But when it comes to taking decisions now, I think about how my parents would.
What they would do?
Yes, what they would do. And then while thinking about what they would do, I think about the situation and how it would affect me as well. So I take balanced decisions, not completely based on what my parents do, but based on the advice they've given me. Because parents should guide their children, but not guide them to the extent that they only do what the parents want them to do. They should also be willing to take that risk.
Esther.
The overprotectiveness has given me this sense of independence, has made me know what decision to take, what is right and what is wrong. So their overprotectiveness has guided me more than it has caused harm to me.
Victoria.
Well, actually, it has done very, very much because their protectiveness helped me to know what to do and when to do it and how to do it. Like, if I'm to take a decision now, the first thing I would do is to check the advantage and the disadvantage in the decision I'm about to take, and then it's not only checking for that moment, I also check this decision I'm taking now, will it affect me tomorrow, or will it benefit me tomorrow, or will it just benefit me now and affect me tomorrow? If it benefits me now and will affect me much more tomorrow, I won't take that decision. But instead I'll go for the one that will benefit me now and still benefit me tomorrow.
Okay, right now we're going to open the phone lines for other things to call in and tell us your experience. Have you experienced overprotectiveness? How has it affected you? Do you think your parents are being overprotective of you? How would you want your parents to treat you at home? Call this number 090-4956-0826, 090-4956-0826, or 07065381320, 07065381320. Hello. Hello, good morning. Your name and where you're calling us from?
My name is Jane. I'm coming from Awka.
Okay, join the conversation.
Okay, I think parents being overprotective is actually depressing for children. You don't give them enough freedom to do what you want to do. Sometimes the parents take decisions for their children.
Only protect and guide them and not to like they say, depress them. That's
Yeah, this is your depression.
not to depress them, is to guide and protect them. And my advice to parents is that they shouldn't allow their past experiences to becloud their judgments, their sense of judgment. They should know that sometimes a child should be given small freedom, because when you give something over, it tends to have disastrous measures. Like when you give a child freedom over on top, you give the child this freedom, the child might sometimes go astray. So I think a parent should reduce the freedom she gives and also reduce the overprotectiveness.